This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.
Hello everyone, I hope you are ready for a news report packed with excitement and celebrations. While Memorial Day was the focus for the early part of the week, focus was redirected back to local politics and the traditional running of the Doug Mullins Memorial Tournament for baseball. The Lynn Veterans Council were our guests on the Lowdown, fitting in nicely with the themes of service and honor for this week. Without further ado, let's jump right in with the news for Friday, May 31st, 2025. Lynn Community Television won a 2025 Hometown Media Award from the Alliance for Community Media Foundation. This awards program was established to recognize and honor community media, community radio, and local television programs distributed on cable access television. Even more exciting, the winning video was produced by LCTV's 2024-25 co-op students from Lynn Tech, Kaylee Corrado and Kimberly Esteban. Kimberly and Kaylee topped the student division of the documentary category for their video 2024 Beyond Walls Street Art Tour. This project focused on 5 artists who created murals in Lynn throughout August of 2024. In response to this honor, LCTV's Director of Operations Riley said, quote, "Earning a Hometown Media Award is a huge honor for our Community Media Center. This win confirms that we are producing some of the highest quality content in the country, not just the North Shore. It's also amazing to me because it was the students that won, proving once again that Lynn Tech and this city produce talent that shines at a national level," end quote. Now it's time for you to see this project, whether for the first or 10th time it continues to expire. This award-winning project shone a spotlight on the various styles and inspirations the artists used when they were decorating our city.
Beyond Walls is a nonprofit headquartered here in Lynn. Our mission is to activate public spaces to strengthen communities. We do things called design response, where we'll try and take a creative lens to what a community has shared as a challenge of their built environment, and that has us bringing in architects, engineers, lighting experts, whatever is needed for that. But what we're most known for and renowned for is putting up really large-scale epic pieces of street art. We curate to the demographics of the cities that invite us in to serve them. And so we have a new group of artists, a new contingent of artists that are here in Lynn right now putting up artwork. The tours today are part of what Beyond Walls does, which is offering tours to the public and tours to youth groups of the street art of the city that we've been installing since 2017. We point out and talk about the other art and cultural establishments that are here in the city that make the city so great. And so part of our tours today are part of this Lynn Arts Festival.
Dominican artist Ruben Oviera created an impressive mural at Bentwater Brewery, completing the piece in a little over half a day. His exceptional skill and efficiency were such that our crew was not able to capture the artwork in progress.
The piece I made here for the Bentwater Brewing Company in Lynn is a gorilla. A gorilla is one of the animals that I paint a lot because I use it as a way to speak about the street art movement that is taking all over the world. Public art is very important because I always say that with public art is how you see the soul of a city. Arts not only does it tie community together, it also showcases what the community feels and thinks and agrees about as a whole. And it also inspires, which is one of the many reasons why we artists try to do our work.
Bueno, el significado de mi pieza quiere decir la comunicación entre los niños cuando quieren jugar o quieren compartir sus juegos. Sí. Siento que es muy importante el arte público porque yo pienso que todo el mundo necesita arte para que la gente se eduque un poco y no solo hayan paredes grises en la ciudad, sino también que la gente siempre viva en alegría y viendo cosas bellas en las calles.
Hi, I'm Mr. June. I'm from Rotterdam, the Netherlands. They flew me over here to paint this mural and I'm invited by Beyond Walls here in Lynn. My piece is, I think I always paint sort of the same thing. I prefer not to sketch, and everything I make here, it's kind of abstract, but it's all based off a hexagon. A lot of people see like art or public art as a luxury, or as a secondary thing. But to be honest here, you guys in the States are well more aware of the fact that public art is working because it brightens up the neighborhood. I painted all over in the world. We all started to paint with a lot of artists like in bad neighborhoods. That was a bad, and those neighborhoods where the rent is cheap, those where the artists go in because the rent is cheap and a lot of walls, but after you see it everywhere. So that's the importance of street art, I think.
My name is Chris Saravia. My artist name is Golden 305. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. I've been living in Miami for 32 years. The mural is more than just a good-looking mural. It's also to be used therapeutically by the teachers with a universal scale to measure their behavior and the anemic status. It's called zones of regulation. Red means energetic, overexcited. Blue means sad, worried. And green is when you're ready to learn, when you're positive. Yellow means confused, worried, stressed. But it's so much more than a mural. It's really a tool. So hopefully this helps the teachers in the school system to improve in how to communicate with these kids that are having issues communicating and learning, you know.
My name is Bruno Smokey. I'm from Brazil originally. I've been doing this for 21 years. This is my life, my passion. Here we're talking about the connection between us humans and the natural environment, the world, you know, the ocean, and how important it is for us to take care of our Mother Earth. We've been working on this for the past, today's the 4th day. Growing up, I didn't have any access to art. Since I started painting in the street, I see the power and the influence that a street art can cause into a community. You know? And for me, it's more than just a paint on the wall. This is all for you guys that it walks by here every day. That's kind of like the responsibility that I take on my art every time.
Beyond Walls has brought together a diverse array of artists in Lynn to create unique murals as part of the celebration of public art. We eagerly anticipate the new works of art they'll be expecting next summer.
On May 22, 2025, the Commonwealth celebrated the first ever Massachusetts Military Appreciation Day. Senator Creighton, House Minority Leader Jones, Representatives Armini, Cahill, and Reed honored veterans and service members from Lynn, Lynnfield, Marblehead, and Nahant. Each legislator was invited to honor a person from their district they represent, whether they are a veteran, active duty service member, National Guard, reservist, or military spouse. In total, more than 125 individuals from across the Commonwealth were honored for their commitment to service and community. Representative Reed nominated Bob Lennon of Lynn, stating, quote, "Bob exemplifies the true definition of service. It was an honor to nominate in recognition of his countless contributions to our country, our community, and our Commonwealth right here in Lynn," end quote. The Healy-Driscoll administration introduced Military Appreciation Day as a way for state and local leaders to honor those whose service may have otherwise gone unrecognized. In addition to the honorees, the ceremony featured remarks from Governor Healy, members of the armed forces, and a musical performance. While Lynn held their annual Memorial Day celebration at Pine Grove Cemetery the afternoon of the 26th, beginning with a march from Manning Field to the cemetery, where multiple state and local officials spoke. The Lynn English Marine Corps JORTC drill team gave a performance, and Lynn All-City Band performed the national anthem. The ceremony concluded with the laying of a wreath by Doris Sirakus, a Gold Star mother, and Wayne Johnson, the Vice President of the Lynn Veterans Council. Here is a clip.
My name is Mike Sweeney, and I'm the Director of Veteran Services for the City of Lynn, and I'm proud to welcome you here today for the Lynn 2025 Memorial Day ceremony. As we gather here today, we stand on sacred ground, not just in place, but in purpose. This year holds special meaning as we mark the 250th birthdays of the Army, Marine Corps, and Navy as we prepare in 2026 for the 250th birthday of the United States of America. 2.5 centuries since the birth of our nation, and still we come together each year to remember those who gave the last full measure of devotion to defend it.
Those who sacrificed gave us this country, our freedom. And one of the most important things we can do with that freedom is shape a future that we believe in, that we believe honors the sacrifices of those who gave it to us.
Memorial Day is about remembering all our fallen soldiers. It is important that we honor all of them, not just as statistics, not just as shadows in history, but as sons, daughters, siblings, parents, friends, as Americans. We honor these brave souls. We must speak truthfully and fully about who they were. The freedom of this country has been defended by people of every race, every faith, every gender, and every orientation.
To watch the full ceremony, go to lyntv.org. Over the weekend, Council President Jay Walsh announced that he will not be running for re-election this upcoming November. Walsh has served for a decade on the City Council, and 2025 represents his 4th year as president. He said it was a family decision to not run again, citing his desire to spend more time with family and running his business as the main factors. As councilor, Walsh is most proud of Harbor Park and the use of ARPA money throughout the entire city. When asked in an interview with The Item what he would miss most, he said, quote, "I think being able to have input in the decisions made in the city in a small way. If you run for these office positions, I think you feel you want to make things better, and you want to have that input to do that, whatever those things are," end quote. With that being said, Walsh also does not believe that these should be lifelong positions, and it is important to know when to pass the torch and let others continue that service. The Wyoma Lions Club hosted their 26th annual Memorial Tree Service on Saturday, May 25th. Since 1999, this ceremony has provided a way for family and community members alike to honor the memories of loved ones and veterans. Each sponsored white crystal on the tree represents a life, with names read aloud during the service and displayed on boards around the tree. This year's ceremony also paid tribute to the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps, on the 250th anniversary of their founding. The Lynn English Marine Corps JORTC presented the colors, followed by a rendition of taps by the Lynn All-City Band and several moving speeches. Councilors from wards 1, 3, 4, 5, Councilor at Large, school committee members, and representatives from Veterans Affairs were all present for this event. All proceeds from the Memorial Tree Service support the Massachusetts Lions Eye Research Fund and other local charities. Members of Lynn High Schools had the chance to compete one last time before graduation in the All-City Track and Field Championships. This friendly competition is held to wrap up the school year and, most importantly, to encourage collaboration and support between all Lynn schools.
We want to welcome you all to the 2025 All-City Track and Field Championships. This is made possible through a collaboration of Manning Field, of all the Lynn track teams and track coaches, and of all Lynn Track and Field, a new 501c3 nonprofit founded by Lynn track coaches to support the student athletes of Lynn Track and Field.
Now in its 5th year, Manning Field hosted more than 500 student athletes for the All-City Track and Field Championship. Before the events began, 10 students, 2 per school, were surprised with $500 scholarships from all Lynn Track and Field.
So, I am so excited for you to have this opportunity to compete. It helps you see your peers who are doing great things, and hopefully helps all of us build a sense of community that's citywide, which is so important.
Featured events this year included the 100-meter, 400-meter hurdles, 2-mile, javelin, discus, high jump, and the long jump. Since this event always occurs the day after Memorial Day, participants also took a moment to honor all veterans and military members.
Thank you very much. The money that you're donating out there, this $500, what it does, it goes to a program called Hero Meals. This year alone, we've been able to feed over 1,000 veteran families, and that's in large measure to what you're doing right here. So do me a favor, give yourself a round of applause.
Final results saw the Tigers top both the boys and girls categories. Lynn Tech girls placed first with 227 points, St. Mary's placed second with 141, followed by English, KIP, and Classical. For the boys, final results were Tech earning 142 points, St. Mary's again claimed second with 126, followed by KIP, Classical, and English. But the highlight every year is the camaraderie and the chance for seniors to have one last competition before graduation. For LCTV News, I'm Danny Vittori. On Thursday, May 23rd, Governor Maura Healey and Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, in collaboration with Mass Tech's Massachusetts Broadband Institute, announced just over $22 million in grants to upgrade internet access for affordable housing in 54 communities. For Lynn, public housing operator Wynn Properties was the recipient of the grant and will upgrade 117 units with the funding. This project will be installing modern fiber optic cables in both public and affordable housing units to increase residents' access to high-quality, reliable internet. Arevio Inc. will be the provider, having received $20 million of the total amount for over 15,000 units in the Commonwealth. This upgrade is part of a larger residential retrofit program, which will provide devices for residents, digital literacy classes, and free public Wi-Fi to further improve internet access and connectivity statewide. This is the third and largest award phase of the $82 million program. Previously, the program awarded $6.3 million in December of 2024 and $10.4 million in March of 2025. The 2025 summer season is here, and so are splash pads. LCTV created a video with the updated times and locations, so you know where to go to stay cool.
Splash pads will be open around Lynn daily from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. starting June 7th and going until September 6th. There are 4 splash pads located around the city at Flax Pond Park in Ward 1, Kiley Park in Ward 3, Neptune Boulevard Park in Ward 6, and Barry Park in Ward 7.
Since the inception of the Doug Mullins Memorial Tournament 4 years ago, there's only ever been one champion, St. Mary's. And that trend continued in 2025, with the Spartans defeating Swampscott 3-1. Tournament MVP Jake Zimmerman immediately set the tone, setting down the first 8 batters he faced. The rest of the game was much of the same, as the lefty struck out 13 in total and only allowed 3 hits. As for offense, the Spartans only registered 1 hit all game, but they made it count. Nate Coutone recorded a base hit down the line to score 2 in the first. Josh Donnie also touched home plate on a wild pitch to make it 3-0. From there, both teams struggled to get anything going on the offensive side of the plate. Swampscott did score 1 in the 6th, but St. Mary's hung on for their 4th consecutive Doug Mullins Memorial Tournament title. The consolation game pitted English First Classical, with the Bulldogs coming out on top 5-3. It was a close game for the first 3 innings, as English scored first, but the Rams answered an inning later, going ahead 3-1 on a double steal and subsequent double. From there, though, it was all English, going on a 4-0 run to finish the game. St. Mary's had a tough week in softball, losing both their opening round and consolation game in the Spartan tournament. But they rebounded to finish up the regular season with a 9-5 win over Arlington Catholic. Addison Newhall threw a 6-inning shutout, only giving up 2 hits compared to 4 punchouts, while Abby Sosa drove in 4 of the runs herself off 2 hits. What better way to celebrate your seniors than beating your opponent? How about by a 21-run margin? You heard that correctly. Lynn Classical beat up on Chelsea 28-7 on Memorial Day. Fittingly, senior Alenia Ramirez went 4 for 4 with a triple, double, 4 runs, and 4 RBIs. She also earned the win on the mound, going 5 innings and striking out 5 for good measure. Brooke Braswell also had a strong day, tacking on a homer, triple, and 6 RBIs. Lynn Tech also ended their season in dominant fashion, 21-9 against Notre Dame Cristo Rey. Saria Ray led the Tigers, going 2 for 5 with 3 walks. Ray Comey and Rufino tacked on a hit and 3 walks each. The trio combined for a dozen of Tech's 21 runs to support an 8-strikeout victory by Nicole Maracino. Classical volleyball finished up the regular season at 12-8 following a 3-1 loss to Revere. The Red Sox are struggling. They lost their last 5 games, 3 in walk-off style. 1-run losses have also haunted Boston all season and swung their record the wrong way to 27-32. 2025 is a significant year for the military and the country, with the 250th birthday of the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps. To this end, the Lynn Veterans Council is organizing the largest parade on the North Shore to honor all veterans, active military members, and first responders in September of next year. But I will let them tell you the details on this edition of The Lowdown. Good morning and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we welcome on 3 members from the Lynn Veterans Council. Thank you so much for coming here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
So first things first, would you all mind just introducing yourselves and saying your position within the council?
Sure, I'm Wayne Johnson. I'm the Vice President of the Lynn Veterans Council.
Great. Katie DiVirgilio. I'm an auxiliary member of the Veterans Council.
And my name is Charlie Griffin. I'm the President of the Lynn Veterans Council.
All right, fantastic. So before, you are here to talk about a few specific events, but before I hop right into that, would you be able to just tell the audience a little bit about the Veterans Council for those who may not be aware of it?
Sure, the Lynn Veterans Council, we started it back up about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get membership back into it. And our mission is to take care of the veterans, specifically in Lynn, but all over the North Shore. We're looking at helping, putting up monuments, a parade that we're going to be doing, and just reaching out to veterans and helping the veterans in this community.
And you don't have to be a veteran to be on the council. I know, Katie, you mentioned you're an auxiliary member, so you're not a veteran yourself, but you are still on the council.
Correct.
So anyone who wants to get involved, I know you mentioned it, Charlie, you were always looking for membership, people to help support you. You don't have to be a veteran to do that.
Absolutely, and honestly, our experience so far is some of our auxiliary members are our hardest workers. They're so motivated because maybe their father or their grandfather was a veteran, and they get super motivated to help veterans. So it's a nice nice fit for them to do it.
And I think it's fantastic. And before we hop into the parade, which is your big event, one thing you mentioned too is you're going to be giving out a scholarship in June, and you have some of the finalists for it. And what scholarship is this?
Yes, this is what we did a memorial rededicating for Lance Corporal Bradley J. Campus. He was a young Marine killed back in 1983 over in Beirut, the Marine barracks bombing. And for many years, we tried to get a better park set up for him because it was not that impressive. We were able to do a beautiful memorial for him down at Clark Street Playground. It's very impressive. But we had extra money after that event 2 years ago. So it was a good idea that we decided to do a scholarship program with him. So we've done a scholarship, and this past year our 7-person committee picked the 3 top winners. 10 kids did put applications in. They were all very impressive, unbelievable what these kids had to say in their records were unbelievable. Very difficult to pick the top 3. But we have picked the top 3, and that will go to our chairperson, Lindsay Lundy, who's the niece of Lance Corporal Bradley J. Campus. Never met her uncle, unfortunately. And then in early June, we'll actually hand out the scholarships at the different schools, whether it's English, Lynn Tech, wherever the winners came from. We'll hand those scholarships out. And it's fantastic because, like a lot of veterans say it, if you say someone's name, they're not gone.
Right.
And as long as you say their name, they're not gone. They're still in our collective memory. So I think it's an awesome thing. And plus it teaches these kids, the service and sacrifice, for what he did.
Oh, it is. I remember I was at the dedication for that memorial, and it's very impressive. It was a fantastic event
gorgeous.
and what was done. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. And now I said I'll hop into the big event you're going to be doing. It's actually next year, 2026, the North Shore Veterans and First Responders Parade in September. Would you be able to walk me through a little bit about how this idea came about, how the process has been so far?
Yeah, we were talking about it for over a year, but it just came up that there's not a lot of parades in Lynn anymore, and we wanted to sponsor a parade and put a parade together. We picked September of 2026, which is the 250th anniversary of birthday of the United States.
Wow.
It's also the 25th anniversary of 9/11 and the 25th anniversary, I believe it is, of the War on Terror. So we wanted to kind of put it all together and get the first responders as well as the veterans in there, because as everybody knows, the first responders were huge during 9/11.
Yeah, they were all huge. So what is the plan? Like, where you just said when's the parade's going to happen, but where are you going to be marching from? Who's involved in it so far?
Yeah, well, the parade, actually the routes have changed numerous times already because there's construction projects going on.
Yeah, of
and
course.
sometimes it's far in advance, so you're not sure. But right now we're going to start at North Shore Community College. That's going to be our staging area. And then I'll just quickly carry through, we'll go out onto Washington Street, then we'll go on to Broad Street, and then down Broad onto Market Street. We'll continue up Market Street until we get to City Hall Square. We'll take a left on the North Common, then a quick right onto Franklin Street. And then once you're on Franklin, you're going to go all the way down to Boston Street. We'll take a right onto Boston Street. And then once on Boston, we'll go by Pine Grove. There'll be a staging area, not a staging area, but an area where the reviewing stand will be there. And then we'll take a right onto Stetson, and we'll finish up in Manning Field.
Wow.
Well, at that end of it, there'll be like a touch-a-truck thing too. There'll be vehicles and different things for the kids and people to go through and sit in and touch. So it should be pretty good.
An event like that is it's large, it's big, it needs a lot of help, a lot of volunteers. So if anyone is interested in getting involved, what are different ways that community members can help? Anyone can?
So we're looking for anyone that can step up and volunteer and help out. whether it's at the actual parade or getting some people involved to fundraise.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for reaching out to the community for donations into the parade. We're looking at quite a bit of money to put this whole thing together, and we just think it's a very, very worthy cause.
And I'll ask you, Kate, specifically, as the auxiliary member, people who, maybe they have a veteran in their family, they may know them.
Yep, I'm looking forward to, canning, reaching out for assistance from family and friends.
Right.
Just getting involved, just being present, helping with the parade.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like it's going to be a very impressive event, very big showing, for sure.
Yeah, and really the three main things for us as a council is getting the word out. That's the biggest thing. If I learned anything from Brad Campus's event, like a lot of people said to me afterwards, geez, if I'd only known it was going on, I would have helped out. I would have participated.
Right.
So either, word of mouth or especially social media now is the big thing nowadays. Just as many people, if you hear about it, throw it on your social media and just spread it out to as many people as you can. Whether it's to actually help out or maybe just even to show up. I know a couple of parades I've been to in Lynn in past years, the crowds really weren't that many people out there.
Yeah.
And we'd like to have a big crowd, enjoying this parade.
Yeah, you don't have to be a veteran to help the council. That's the big thing that, I'd like to get out there.
Yeah, and you were even mentioned too, you might have some of the some marching bands, some groups as well have gotten involved to maybe participate in the parade.
Right.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have 4 divisions. I guess the first division will be first responders. We're going to have them, so it'll be police, fire, ambulance crews that will go out. And then after that, we'll have veterans marching. With the older veterans, we'll probably have vehicles for them, which will be pretty cool for them. And then after that, we'll have the bands. We'll have bands of military or civilian bands playing. So it's going to be a pretty impressive parade for people to watch.
It's definitely going to be an impressive feat. And I said it's still a year away, so people might think that's a long time, but it does. It takes so much time, so much effort, so much money to be able to put this together. That's why you want to really put it out now and let people know about it.
Correct.
That's right.
The time goes by quick.
Mm-hmm. It does. You don't really realize it, but as you were saying it, I first heard about this last year, and that doesn't even feel like that long ago.
Right.
And I know I will have to wrap it up in a moment, but for the parade specifically, or anything in general for the Lynn Council, is there anything you wanted to touch upon, anything you wanted to speak about?
Yeah, for the parade, it's like Wayne said earlier about we're not only honoring veterans that have served, but especially with the first responders. They were the first to respond on 9/11, and a lot of them lost their lives. And a lot of first responders are former veterans also. They've worn both hats. So it's just to remember them for their service and sacrifices and kind of highlight it on a great day for them to have a parade and for people to see it. That's why we're really hoping we get a good crowd to witness this too.
Mm-hmm. And I will ask, this is just general, since it is outside, it is a parade, do you think you'll have a rain date for it, or is it one of those, any kind of weather, rain, snow, nobody knows in New England, we're going to go for it?
Yeah, I think it's a week later, if God forbid we have, like torrential, downpours.
Right.
We wouldn't want to do that to people. So it would be a week later, we'd have I think it's the 27th it would be.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, great, that's fantastic. Yeah. Awesome. All right, so I'm trying to think. I think we covered it all. I feel like we did really well, and I'm always impressed by the work that you do, and I'm so glad that it's really getting ramped up, and we're always happy to help, support any initiatives that you do and really get the word out there. So I want to thank you all again for coming on again to really speak about this.
Right, great, thank you for having us.
Of course, anytime. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. After 2 administrations and 4 years of work, the City of Lynn is launching the Lynn Comm Team on Tuesday, June 3rd at 5 p.m. Come to City Hall, where residents will have the opportunity to meet members of the Comm Team, hear from Mayor Nicholson, and learn more about how this program will help the community. The Lynn Com Team is an unarmed crisis response team or alternative to police response. Spend part of your Saturday painting a Pride crosswalk. Head to the intersection of Sagamore and Washington Street at 11 a.m. on June 7th to help paint the city's first ever Pride crosswalk. Sponsored by the City of Lynn and United Lynn Pride, this crosswalk will honor Fran's, one of the oldest gay bars in Massachusetts and a landmark of Sagamore Street for many years. Autism Acceptance Day was scheduled for April 5th, but due to weather, it will now occur on June 7th from 1 to 3 p.m. at Kiley Park. Join the Lynn Disability Network in raising awareness and promoting acceptance for people and families affected by autism. At this event, you can make new connections, access resources and support, and have fun. It is free and open to all in the community. That's a wrap both on the news and this month. As we enter June, events will be ramping up, so make sure you don't miss out by following us on social media at Lynn Community TV. For press releases, member and staff content, as well as interviews, visit lyntv.org. Interested in videos going all the way back to the beginning? Then Lynn Community Television on YouTube is the place for you. I'm Danny Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.